Hi there, I'm TR. I am a freelance web developer and a Shopify expert based out of the Springfield, Missouri area. So I am on Central Standard Time here in the US and saw that you have a job here for some speed optimization work on your Shopify website. So I do quite a bit of speed optimization work. And part of my job, I think, is to help provide some education or context around that score. The biggest thing about it being sometimes you actually don't need speed optimization. So the biggest thing or concern for that, usually for folks, is Shopify stuck that big old number in the dashboard, and people see like a 20 or something like that, and so they think, we've all heard that study with like how Amazon, cut down their loading time by a second and made, all this extra money kind of type thing. And that's, kind of true, but like a specific use case scenario. The biggest thing that you want to focus on with your Shopify store is Core Web Vitals. So Core Web Vitals is a metric that Google puts out that has to deal with primarily the UX or user experience of how customers interact with your site. And it also gives us signals as to how your site is interacted with by your users. So real quick, if you've ever clicked on that dashboard for Shopify, clicked into the scores, it'll actually like take you to a link to this PageSpeed Insights tool. This uses an open source tool called Lighthouse in the background that's been developed by Google. And so you can see in here, this is a site that I've worked on. We got to where Core Web Vitals assessment is passed. I'm curious if you want to take a stab at what you think the score is before we scroll down here. And it's only a 45. So wanted to point out that we made some significant improvements where we were just in the teens as far as the speed score goes, and brought this up, to a 45 for a speed score. But again, I don't focus on speed score so much as improving Core Web Vitals. Those other numbers will follow. But now what we do is we use the page speed score as a baseline for whether or not we're doing well with Core Web Vitals. And so, if our number dips, like let's say for whatever reason, we drop 10 points on a weekend or something like that, we want to go back then and figure out what's happened that we drop that much, because then it might start impacting Core Web Vitals. And Google has come out and said that Core Web Vitals is actually relevant to how your site comes up in search query results when people are looking for something you might link for. Content's always going to be king, quality content for a search query. But basically, when you come up with a competitor who has similar quality content as you, Google's going to check that Core Web Vitals, and hey, whoever's the one that actually is passing, and if there's one that's not, that person who's passing gets served higher in results. So that's just a real quick deal. I could go into it a little bit more, but I don't want to take up a ton of your time. So reach out if I can be of help. Thank you.